let's get going. So we're going to talk about different words that we're going to use. The most important thing with algebra is that it's a language. So it's the language of maths, basically. It's when we decide to bring in a whole bunch of letters into maths because, you know, why not? So we're just going to talk about a couple of definitions before we sort of jump into some questions. And the really good thing is that the questions that we're going to go through today, they're asked pretty much in every test and exam for the rest of grade 9. So it's like guaranteed marks if you know what you're doing and you know what you're talking about. It's really cool. Okay, so first little vocab lesson of the day, we have an expression. So an expression is when we have a mathematical phrase. So we have a bunch of numbers and there are letters and numbers, but there is no equal sign. Can someone tell me what it's called if there is an equal sign? Yes, you can always take a screenshot. Whenever you want, you can take one. What would a mathematical phrase containing letters and numbers and an equal sign be called? What do you think that would be called? Yes, Neo, great. It would be an equation. Exactly. Okay, so sorry, guys. I know my handwriting's not nearly as neat as Teacher Cass. I will do the best I can, though, I promise. So an example of an equation, if I had 2x plus 2 equals 6, that's an equation, okay? If I have an expression, I can't have that equal sign. So I could have like 2x plus 2. That's an expression because there's no equals. So those are the two big words that we work with. We have expressions and we have equations. Okay. Next important word is a coefficient. Coefficient is just a fancy word for saying it's the number that is in front of a variable. So in this case, all of these little letters, so this X and this Y, those are variables. Let's put those names in just for anyone who's feeling uncertain. Or if you haven't done this since grade 8, maybe it's still feeling a little bit vague. So those would be variables. And the coefficient, let's get this to be the same color so that we be fancy. Sorry, I will also try not to sing so much. Coefficient is the number that is right next to that variable. So in this case, the coefficient is 4, and in this case, the coefficient is 3. So the coefficient is the number that is right next to the letter, the variable. So now my question to you is, if I had, let's say, 3x plus 7, what would my coefficient be in that expression? In 3x plus 7, what would my coefficient be? And remember, take a chance. Don't worry about getting it wrong. If you get it wrong, I will never be upset with you. Just take a leap of faith. So we're looking at this little expression here. And all I want to know is, what is the coefficient? What is the coefficient? So this word that we've just learned, what is the coefficient of this expression? Oh, okay. So our first answer is coming in as 3 and 7. Do people agree? Do they disagree? Let me know. If you want to talk, pop that hand up. So if we have a look at these numbers, so one of the suggestions was that it was 3 and 7. If we think about what this definition is, it says that it's in front of the variable, is right next to the variable. Does the 7 over here have a variable next to it, or is it just a number by itself? Does it have any number next to any letter next to it? Don't be scared. I'm not trying to trick you. Nice, easy answer. No, there's no letter next to it. And because there's no letter, it's not a coefficient. It's going to be called a constant, which we're going to talk about just now. But this 3 over here, that would be a coefficient. So this 7 over here, that's going to be called a constant, which we're going to talk about just now. And the 3 would be the coefficient. Does anyone have any questions about any of the words that are currently up on the board? So expression, equation, coefficient, variable, or constant. This is your chance to ask me. And while you're thinking, please feel free to take a screenshot. We're going to move down to our next definitions after this. Cool. Okay. So variable we've already spoken about. So I'll keep this up here if you want the fancy definition for it. So you can take a screenshot of all of them, but your variable is the letters. So it's an unknown. It means we don't know what it is. If we see that there's an X, that X could be 2, it could be 7, it could be 20, it could be minus 12. We don't know. And so because we don't know what value it is, we give it a letter. X, Y, Z, all of them. Okay. Okay. Terms. Terms can get a little bit sassy, I think is the easiest way to talk about terms. Let's just make this a little bit bigger for those, if you want to take a screenshot of it. Terms are when we have a whole bunch of different algebraic expressions, if we have a phrase of them, and they are brought together by multiplication signs and division signs, and they are split apart with pluses and minuses. So I'm just going to give you an idea over here. If I had 2x times 3y, okay, because I have a multiplication sign, that actually means that this whole thing is going to be one term. So that multiplication sign is joining them together like glue. If I had that almost that exact same situation, so let's say I had 2x plus 3y, that plus sign is going to break up my terms. So instead of having one term, I'm going to have two terms. So the plus sign splits them apart. Same works with divide and minus. If I have, let's keep it in blue, if I have 2x divided by 3y, that divided sign binds them together. So when I have a division, this is going to be one term. And if I had a minus sign, so if I had 2x minus 3y, then that's going to be two terms. Okay. The other thing that binds things together is brackets. Brackets act as if they're like hugging everything together inside. That also makes things one term. So that's how we work out what terms we have. Let's do a quick test. Well, I suppose we'll get to those now, so let's not worry just yet. They're different words. These words are sometimes asked in tests, so they are useful to know. But think of it, some of it's a little bit, it feels like a confusing thing, but just think like bicycle. There's two wheels on a bicycle. Tricycle, you can think of trinations. What other words start with tri? I'm thinking tricycle, trinations, I got nothing, guys. Can anyone give me another word that starts with tri? Come on, all my English buffs in here. Triangle! Asunder, yes, exactly. Triangle. Glorious. Okay, so monomial means I have one term. So there's just one. Okay. Binomial is when I have two terms. So I've got the 5x plus the 4. Let's actually highlight them separately so you can see. So binomial, we've got 5x and we've got the 4 and it is 2 terms. And then we've got trinomial. So 1, 2, 3, and we've got 3 terms. And if we have lots of terms, so anything more than 3. So let's say I had 4x to the power of 3 plus 2x squared plus 7x plus 12. Okay, so now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Does anyone feel brave and think they can tell me what it's called if we have more than 3 terms? No brave souls today? Polynomial! Yay! Yes, absolutely. Beautiful. Polynomial. Absolutely. So poly means many. So this is saying like I've got many terms. Okay. All right. Glorious. Next thing we're going to talk about terms is if we have like terms, okay? This is a very important concept. Like terms have the exact same letters and the same exponents, and we are only allowed to plus or minus terms that are exactly the same, okay? So as an example, if I have 2x squared and I have 3x squared, are those two like terms or are they not like terms? Have a guess. So if you think they are like terms, say yes. If you think they are not like terms, say no. Okay, we've got like terms as an answer. Tell me something else. Yes, yes. Beautiful. Love it. Okay, they absolutely are like terms because they both have an x squared. What if I had 4xy squared and 2xy? Are those like terms or are they unlike terms? Keep those answers coming. Yes, good. Okay, so the x's are the same. That's cool. But my y's, I've got 2 y's here and I only have 1 y here. So that means that they are not like terms because they don't have the same variables and the same exponents. All right. If you want to take a screenshot, please feel free. And then we're going to chat about degrees. We're just going to go through all the vocab now in the beginning, and then when we start getting into the questions, there'll be lots of ways for you to answer. Okay. So last part, the degree of an expression is the highest power that the expression has. So let's write a couple as a little test. Let's say with question 1, let's write 2y to the power of 2 plus 3 to the power of 4 plus y. Okay, and then let's say negative 4x plus 2x cubed plus 4x squared. Okay, so let's look at those two questions. If we have a look at question 1, and we read what this says. So the degree of an expression is the highest power. Okay, so my highest power in question 1 is a 4. So because of that, I would say that it is the 4th degree. So we look at the highest power, and that's how we determine the degree. So have a look at question 2 for me. What is the degree of question 2? What is our degree of question 2? Okay, we've got an answer coming in. Keep them coming. Good. Our highest power here is a 3, because this one is a 1, and then we have a 2, and we have a 3. And so because of that 3, we would say this is the 3rd degree. Okay. Any questions before we start jumping into some things? Cool, cool, cool. Let's get going. Okay, let me just make that a bit smaller so you can see everything. Actually, we don't need that column. We just need those ones. Okay, I'm going to help you out with the first one. And then I want you to give 2, 3, 4, and 5 a try. And I would love it if people would like to give their answers out loud. But see how you feel. So I'm going to go through number 1 with you, and I would love it if I can get volunteers for 2, 3, 4, and 5. So first of all, our type of expression. So if I'm having a look here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. Okay, so that means it is a polynomial, because I have more than one term. Okay. Variables, I have got x's and I have got y's. So those are my letters. So variables are our letters. And the type of expression is how many terms. And then our constant is the number that has no letter next to it at all. So there's no letter attached. And so in this case, our constant is going to be 2. And if it was a minus, we would say -2. So that's how we're going to answer these. So give it a go. If you feel confident, let me know in the chat which one you would like to answer. I'm also happy to, since this is the beginning of our lesson, what I will do to make your life a little bit easier and keep you a bit more confident is I'm going to highlight the terms for you, just to see if that helps. Okay. That should help. All right, so Neo is going to do 2 for us. I'm just going to write the name over here so that we don't get lost. If we have any volunteers for 3, 4, and 5, have a look at them, see which one you feel comfortable with. And let me know which one you want to do. Okay, Logan is going to do 5 for us. Beautiful. Okay. Ilham, I've already got someone for number 2, but I can put you on for number 3. Okay. My H looks like an N. And I need one more volunteer for question 4. Don't be scared. Just take a chance. You're going to be doing number 3 for us. Yeah, I'm going to give you guys 1 more minute to work through this, and then we are going to jump to our volunteers. Okay. Neo, do you want to talk us through question 2, or do you want to write your answers in the chat? What will you feel more comfortable with? Beautiful. Okay, you can unmute yourself. You should be able to. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, tell me your beautiful answers.
Ma'am, the type of expression is polynomial.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna question you on that, but good. Okay, can you
Oh, no, sorry, ma'am. Trinomial.
what can you tell me why it's a trinomial?
Ma'am, because there's only 3 terms.
Good. Why are there 3 terms and not 4 terms? Because we were trying to trick you.
Oh, ma'am, I'm not sure.
Okay, no, that's good. If anyone else said polynomial, that's good. It's a good place to fall for the trick. Because those two are being multiplied together, they're binding them together. So it's making it 1 term. So that's going to be 1, and then our 20 is a 1, and our -4z to the 7 is 1. Okay.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay, what are our variables?
M, N, and Z.
Beautiful. And what is our constant?
20.
100%. Nice job. Thank you. Well done to our first volunteer. Big round of applause. Okay. Number 3, Ilham, this is all yours. Let's go. Hello. Have I lost you? We can come back. If that helps. Do you see that you're still here? Are you wanting to give your answers in the chat, maybe? Let me know. Okay. I'm going to move on to question 4 so long, but I will come back to you now. Okay. All right, Buklale, can you please help me with question 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We're all yours. What is my expression?
Monomial,
Yes. Can you tell me why?
because it's only 1 term,
Why is it only 1 term?
because there is no plus or minus.
Yes, you are speaking beautiful things to my ears. Yes. Okay, those times and divide signs are binding it all together. So it is 1 term. Beautiful. Okay, what are my variables?
X, A, B, C, Y, and Z.
X, A, B, C, Y, and Z. Love it. Okay, what is my constant?
I don't think there is a constant, ma'am.
Excellent. There isn't one. There is no constant. We have no constant. Beautiful. That was great. Thank you so much for answering. Okay, let's jump into Logan for question 5. Logan, can you help us out with question 5? Good. It is a trinomial, 100%. Okay, what are our variables? Y, beautiful. And what is our constant? None. Beautiful again. Perfect. Okay. Illy says you have decided to chat. So let's go through your answers. So I'm just going to get a different color happening up here. What have we? We've had all of these already. Orange. Okay. Illy, for question 3 over here, what type of expression is this? Okay, so monomial would mean that I have 1 term, but because I have this plus sign in the middle, it's separating them. So it means I'm going to have 2 terms. So because there are 2 terms, it's going to be a binomial. So that bi part is standing for 2. It's going to be a binomial. What would my variables be in this question? What would my variables be? Good. S and X. Excellent. Okay. And what would my constant be in this question? So in this case, that 7 has got a little x attached to it. Because of the x attached to it, it can't be a constant. We can only have a constant if there are no letters attached to it. So because there isn't anything here where there's no letters, we're going to have to say there is no constant. Okay. All right. We're going to look at one more thing in this little table, and then I'll give you all a chance to screenshot if you would like. We're just going to look at this last column over here. Okay. Now, this may seem like a trick question, but I promise you it's not. If I have a look at, no, please don't apologize. You tried, and that is what makes me happy. I never mind if you make mistakes. If you're trying, I'm a happy human. Okay. So here we're looking for the coefficient of these different things. The coefficient, remember, is the number right in front of the variable. So if I have 2x, then 2 is my coefficient. If I have negative 3y, then negative 3 is my coefficient. Okay. So what is my coefficient in y to the power of 10? What number is in front of that y to the power of 10? I promise I'm not trying to trick you. And if you think I'm crazy, you can just be like, you're crazy. There's no number. Okay. So if I gave you a question with just y to the power of 10 and it wasn't part of anything, and I asked you what its coefficient was, its coefficient would be 1. Whenever we have a letter or a variable which doesn't have a number in front of it, its coefficient is always going to be 1. Okay? Because this question is part of something, we have to look at where is our y to the power of 10 in the expression. So let's have a look there. Okay? That's where our y to the power of 10 is. What is the number that is right in front of y to the power of 10? Well, it is negative 4. So we have to, if it has a negative sign, we have to take it with us. Okay, let's have a look here. The coefficient of z to the power of 7. Okay, there's our z to the power of 7. Beautiful. Again, negative 4. Coefficient of s. 1. Yes. The coefficient of x. Now we got to be careful. Do I have a single x in this expression? Is there anywhere in there where I have a single x? No. So we cannot answer that. Yeah. Okay. And next one, y to the power of 2. What is our coefficient of y to the power of 2? 2. Beautiful. Careful there, it's got a plus sign, but maybe you can see that though, because I've drawn. So it's very possible that I made that difficult to see. Nice job, guys. Good. Take a screenshot, and then we're going to jump into some more questions. I hope this is all making sense, and we are starting to feel like brain buffs. And my cat's joining us. Hi, Charlie. Okay, let's jump into these questions. All right. So what I would like you all to do is I'd like you to give these questions a try. So there are 4 questions, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the answers to all 4, and I want you to see what you would get out of 4. Okay, so question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. It is all based on this expression. And I would like you to give those 4 questions a try, and then I'm going to give you the answer, and we're going to see who can get 4 out of 4. So do your best. I'll give you 2 minutes, and you can let me know if you are desperate for some more time. No, Charlie, no. Okay, got 1 minute left. All right. So these plus signs are separating my terms. So I've got term 1, I've got term 2, I've got term 3, and I've got term 4. Okay, so let's look at these answers. What is the coefficient of the 3rd term? So that's this term over here. My coefficient is 6. If you wrote plus 6, totally fine. Okay, what will the exponent of the 5th term be? So let's have a look. So if we look at our coefficients, we're going 10, 8, 6, 4. So it means the next one would be 2. And then we've got x to the 5, x to the 4, x to the 3, x to the 2. So we would have x to the 1. And you can write the 1, or you can just write it as 2x. Both of those is fine. Okay, let's have a look at the question now. What would the exponent of the 5th term be? The exponent would be a 1. So we would say 1. If you said none, now that's interesting. I actually think I would give you the mark if you said none, because x to the power of 1 is the same as x, and there isn't an exponent up here. I think rather write 1 in the future, but for this one, because I wasn't specific, I'd give you that mark if you said none. Okay, question 3. What will the coefficient of the 5th term be? So our coefficient here is a 2. If you wrote plus 2, that's fine. What is the exponent of the 2nd term? The exponent of our 2nd term is a 4. So our answers are 6124. Let me know how you did out of 4. If you got 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4, let me know. I'm seeing some 4s, which is making me very happy. 3 out of 4, beautiful, beautiful, lovely. If you didn't quite get 4, hopefully you can see where you lost the mark. Yes, 3 out of 4. What a boss, little brain off over there. 100%. Sure. Okay, nice. Let's give this one a go. 4 out of 4. The more 100% you get, the more I sing. And so I'm not sure that's actually something you Okay, let's have a look at this next question. So this next question is saying, match each statement with an expression on the right. So I'm going to help you with 1, and then I want you to figure out for 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so if I'm looking at this, I'm trying to find a polynomial. Polynomial means I have to have more than 3 terms. Okay, so let's have a look. Over here, I've got 1, 2, oh, no, 2, 3. So that doesn't work. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, polynomial. Okay, so my polynomial is going to be D. Okay, so I would like you to give question 2, 3, 4, and 5 a go. I'll give you a minute and a bit. And then let's see who can get 100% on this as well. And these can be repeated. Just to say that. There, guys. Okay, I know, so rude, so rude. And I didn't even notice for like 2 minutes. I just sat here talking to myself, which is another problem altogether. Okay, let's have a look. Question 2. All variables have an exponent. So we're going to have to look here and see which ones don't. In this case, this variable has an exponent because it's got x cubed, and this variable has an exponent. So that one does fit our rules. Okay. In this one, C doesn't, so B definitely won't work. We've already answered D, so let's come back to D, see if we can use different ones first. Let's have a look at C. So we've got yes, exponent, 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 exponent. Okay, this is not bad. And here we've got exponent, 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 no exponent. So technically, we could say A, C, or, no, just A or C. Okay, so let's write A and C and see if we can get different answers. So I'm going to write A and C. Okay. Monomial. So that means it's only one term. Remember, your times signs and your divide signs bind things together. So if I look at this time sign, this divide sign, and this time sign, it's hugging all of these together and making it one term. So our monomial here is going to be B. All right. 4. All variables have a coefficient. Let's have a look. So this one doesn't have a coefficient. So that's going to be a problem for us. Let's have a look. Here, there's a coefficient, there's a coefficient, there's a coefficient. Cool, let's go with that. So we can say E. And then for question 5, the expression has a constant. So constant means we're looking for a number with no letter attached, and that is going to be that -8. So we're going to say A. All right, so if we wanted to have different letters, it didn't specify that there had to be different letters. So if you said A or C in question 2, that's fine with me. But if you said D, C, B, E, A, that would be what I'm happiest with. Okay, so let me know how we did. What did we get out of 4 for this one? This was a hard one. Oh my goodness. You guys are too smart. You're too smart. But I tricked you here. Okay, if you would like to take a screenshot, please feel free. I'm gonna zoom out so you can get both of these in your screenshot. And then I think we have time for 1 or 2 more questions. Let's see what we can fit in. I'm gonna skip brain break because it's already almost 6 and I want us to use as much time as possible on maths. So you can moan about it to Teacher Cat on Thursday and say, Teacher Jen was the worst, she didn't give us brain break. But I'm sorry, I do love you, but I want us to do maths. You only have to keep your maths brain on for another 14 minutes. Okay, woo, this is where we start getting spicy. Okay, let's go. I think all teachers have the same DNA. We all just want to do work all the time. Maths all the time. Maths, 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 maths. Okay, there are 4 questions here. So the first one is how many terms are there? Second is what is the constant term? Third is state the coefficient of the term in x squared, y squared, x and y. And then 4, I'm going to make this one actually a little bit trickier because I think you guys are too smart. I'm going to change this one to just that. So I just want the coefficient. No. I don't want that. I want the coefficient of u. Okay. You are mathletes. You guys are smart enough to be mathletes. And then we've got question 4 just chilling over here. So I want to give you a little bit of time because I would like you to give this a go by yourselves and see if you can actually get this right. The only question we haven't done together as a class yet is question 4. So if question 4 stumps you, that's okay. I promise I will go over it with you. If you have your calculator with you, it will help you a lot. But if you don't panic. I will show you how to do it with and without a calculator. But let's see if anyone, I'm going to give question 2. Let's see. I'm going to give question 2 2 marks. So this is going to be out of 5. Yeah, you know this. Little mathlete brain buff over there. So this question is out of 5. Let's see if we can get 5 out of 5. Oh, it's the singing. My cat comes when I sing. That's very weird. Why do you come when I sing? That's weird. Yep. Yep. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit more time because I know question 4 takes a little bit more time than the others. Okay, if you guys are ready for me to go through the answers, can you just use a little reaction, like with a little thumbs up or a thumbs down if you're not, just so I can get an idea? Okay, we've got a party hat. Thumbs up. I like it. No. Okay, I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. That's good. Let's get going. Okay, first of all, how many terms are there? So remember, our terms are split up with pluses and minuses. So these minuses and pluses are splitting up our terms, which means we have got 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So question 1, 4 terms. Give yourself a mark. Question 2, what is the constant term? The constant term is 7. If you wrote +7, totally fine. Question 3, state the coefficient of the term in the y squared. Okay, so that's this dude over here. Don't fall for the trap and write 9. Our coefficient is -9. Tick. Question 4, determine the value of the expression if x is equal to 2 and y is equal to -1. So all this is substitution. That's all we're doing. Okay, so we're basically going to write our expression, and instead of writing the variable, we are going to write a value. So I'm going to start by just writing out our expression like this so that you can see it clearly. Okay, and now wherever I have an x, I'm going to put a 2. So this is going to be 2, open brackets, 2 squared, minus 8 times 2. And where I have a y, I'm going to write -1. Okay, so times -1 minus 9 times -1 squared plus 7. Now, if you have this written with your brackets in the correct space, so if it looks like mine is on the board and you chuck it into the calculator, you will get the correct answer. Okay. If you don't have your calculator, you can work through it step by step. So this would be 2 times 4. This would be +16. This would be -9 times +1 plus 7. Okay, so we're going to have 8 plus 16 minus 9 plus 7. What does that give us? 24, 15, 22. If you don't put what you need to put in brackets, you're not going to get the right answer. Okay, so I'm going to give you 1 mark for showing me the substitution. So for showing me all where those numbers go, and then 1 mark for the answer. And that's going to be out of 5. Where are we sitting with